on the way to jhana, we may have to work through considerable quantity of thoughts of various kinds. And it's helpful to be able to identify the different kinds of thoughts that we have. It's not just thoughts, but patterns of activity, patterns of mental activity. And these are grouped together in Buddhist teachings as the 5 hindrances to meditation. So this is 5 things that the mind does when we're sitting and we're meant to be meditating, paying attention to our breathing, cultivating loving kindness or whatever. And instead of actually being engaged with the meditation practice, the mind is wandering. So you have mind wandering going on, also called rumination. And that is called the hindrances. There are 5 different ways that the mind wanders. And so I'm going to help you to try to become aware of what those are like right now. This is not so much a guided meditation as more of a kind of a meditation exercise. So one of the things I want to mention beforehand is that I'm not going to actually assume that you have any of the hindrances present. Perhaps you don't, or perhaps they're very mild and they'll disappear almost as soon as you turn your attention toward your breathing. So you shouldn't assume that you have the hindrances present either. But if you do have a lot of thinking going on, I'm going to just give you a few tools just to help you identify which of the hindrances it might be that you're experiencing. So, first of all, setting ourselves up for meditating. Good straight posture allows you to be alert. Also letting go of any unnecessary tensions in the body so that you can be more relaxed, more at ease. And starting off by just being aware of the space around you, allowing the mind to be receptive. Noticing sounds, space, light. In front, behind, to the sides, above, even below. And just allowing all that sensation to be there. Especially sounds, we just let them come and go, arise and pass away. But even now, just notice, what is your tendency? Do you find yourself trying to push away some of these thoughts, getting irritated by them, wishing they would stop or be quieter? That would be aversion or ill will. Do you find yourself craving to be in different circumstances? Or enjoying listening to one of the sounds in a somewhat obsessive way? It could be sense desire. Just letting your awareness fill the body now. Becoming aware of different sensations arising from all over the body. The movements of the breathing. And as best you can, just allowing the mind to rest in awareness. So there are 5 of these hindrances. I've mentioned 2 already. Ill will, which can also just be simple aversion. is when we dislike our experience. We try to push things away. We have critical thoughts, angry thoughts, sometimes hateful thoughts. So just notice, what is your awareness tending to do right now? What is the tendency of the mind? Are you quite happily being with your experience? Or perhaps there's some resistance, irritability? So what does that feel like if that's arising? Does it bring happiness or peace to feel that you're in conflict with parts of your experience? Are you able to soften, breathe, be more accepting, perhaps a little more playful? Sometimes the mind has the opposite tendency, whereas ill will gets caught up in criticizing and trying to push away experiences. Sense desire craves pleasant experiences. Maybe we get a sense of excitedly thinking about something. Something we want to do that we think will be enjoyable. And sometimes that's quite pleasant. But it doesn't lead to stillness, or calm, or happiness. Sometimes when we have sense desire, it does not feel pleasant at all. There may be a painful sense of longing for our experience to be different from what it is. So if there's any sense desire like that in your experience, seeing if you can pay more attention to what's arising right now in the body. Bring your attention deep into the muscles and see if you can let go and just notice how pleasant it is just to be without craving. Another of the hindrances is restlessness and worry. Often called restlessness and anxiety. And restlessness can simply be excitedness, just lots of thoughts going through the head all the time, constant stream of thinking. Quite excited thinking. Or sometimes there's actual worry there. There's something we're anxious about, and the mind keeps turning over and over something we're going to be doing in the future, making sure we'll get it right, thinking about what might go wrong. Common form of this is thinking about how you're going to describe your meditation practice to somebody else. Almost as if you have to get it right. You've got to get it perfect. You've got to rehearse what you're going to be writing in your meditation journal. So restlessness and anxiety, restlessness and worry are kind of excited states or worrying states. And if we sense anything like that going on, just accepting any anxiety that's present. Just accept that there is this excitation in the body and in the mind. And being really aware of the breathing down in the belly. Just notice how your belly is moving in and out, in and out, in an almost soothing way. Familiar pattern of your breathing, perhaps feeling comforting. And quite different from that is sloth and torpor. Sloth is laziness. Torpor is just tiredness, sleepiness. So maybe your mind is kind of dull or dreamy. Perhaps you have dreamlike imagery coming up, quite nonsensical. Maybe you even feel like you might nod. The body tends to collapse. Torpor is just simple tiredness. You just happen to be tired. Maybe you can straighten the body just a little bit. Breathe more into the upper chest. Pay more attention to sensations of the breathing up in the head. Clarity of sensations in the nostrils, in the back of the throat. Torpor is more of an unwillingness to engage with our experience. Sometimes there's a sense of something like dread, a heavy, almost fear-like experience down in the belly. It's not fear like panic. It's just this, I wish this would go away. I don't want to experience this kind of feeling. It's almost like we're mentally curling up into a ball, wanting to avoid something. So that's sloth and torpor. And if anything like that is happening, you can just continue to be aware of the breathing high up in the body. Continue to be aware of your posture and let your posture be upright and open. Really breathing into the upper chest. And if you're really tired, you might want to let the eyes open and just sit with a defocused gaze. And the last of the hindrances is doubt. And with doubt, we tell ourselves disempowering stories. I can't do this. This is too hard. Everyone else is better at this than I am. I'm not a real meditator. Other people might be able to get into jhana or identify the hindrances, but I can't do that. Everything keeps going wrong in my life. So there's all these heavy, self-blaming thoughts. And see if you can really recognize, if anything like that is going on, really recognize that this is just an inner critical voice. It's not you. Don't identify with it. The Buddha called this voice Mara. Mara means death or defeat. It's the part of you that doesn't want you to be courageous, that doesn't want you to take risks, that doesn't want you to be successful at anything because it's more comfortable not to be successful. We can even feel special because we think we're different from other people. Let's see if you can recognize Mara if he's speaking to you. Recognize that's not you. You don't have to believe those stories. Really sit upright. Really open the chest. Perhaps even take the elbows a little way out from the body so you're taking up more space. Really filling the upper chest as you breathe in. So just being aware of your breathing. All the sensations arising in the body. The space around you. And the light, and the sounds. As you're aware of yourself right now, maybe none of the hindrances is present. Just allow for that possibility. Maybe the mind is relatively calm. Maybe you're quite content. So whatever is arising for you right now, you can either sit on, or you can begin to move the body and let the eyes open.